Welcome back to Sabre Fight Club, keeping you up to date with the fight game. First up, let's talk about UFC 308, where Robert Whittaker faces off against Khamzat Chimaev in a 5-round middleweight war. Despite Chimaev slowing down in some of his past fights, Whittaker isn't banking on him gassing out. He's trained for Chimaev's aggressive style from start to finish, and he's ready for an all-out war. Whittaker knows Chimaev comes out fast and furious, so he's prepared to go hard for all 25 minutes if needed. Mike Perry, the BKFC star and former UFC fighter, made headlines after his DUI arrest earlier this month. On his podcast, Perry publicly apologised for his behaviour, which included berating officers and using homophobic slurs during the arrest. The body cam footage wasn't pretty, but Perry explained that he was frustrated because the officers were hurting his wrists and shoulders. Now, while he didn't take the sobriety or breath tests, which landed him in more trouble, Perry still has a hearing on October 30th, but he's also expected to return to the BKFC ring in December for their first ever event in Philadelphia. Next up, the never-ending saga of Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones. Is it finally happening? According to PFL Chairman Donn Davis, the fight might not be as far-fetched as we think. Ngannou, fresh off a win in the PFL, has reignited the conversation about this super fight. Davis, who's typically optimistic, hinted that while it's not likely, it's definitely possible. One big factor that could make this fight happen: money. With Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, led by Turki Al-Sheikh, heavily involved in combat sports, there's a possibility that they could broker a deal between the UFC and PFL. If the money and timing are right, we could still see what might be the biggest heavyweight fight of the decade. Max Holloway had some strong words for Ilia Topuria ahead of their lightweight title bout at UFC 308. Holloway didn't hold back, calling Topuria a copycat, not just for his fighting style but for his tattoos and overall aura. His back tattoo being a lookalike of McGregor's, for example. Topuria had challenged Holloway to do his iconic point down at the start of their fight instead of the end, which Holloway dismissed, saying that moment needs to be earned. Despite the trash talk, Holloway did show respect for Topuria's skills, acknowledging that he's dangerous and versatile, a wrestler who develops serious knockout power. Holloway also isn't concerned about the age difference or Topuria's momentum. For Holloway, this is just another day in the office as he prepares for his 16th 5-round fight in the UFC. Shara Magomedov, also known as Shara Bullet, will compete at UFC 308 this Saturday in Abu Dhabi against Armen Petrosyan. Magomedov has dealt with an eye injury since 2016 and has drawn inspiration from former UFC champion Michael Bisping, who fought with a similar handicap after suffering a severe eye injury in 2013. Bisping's determination and success motivates Magomedov. If you want an Ivy League-approved formula to naturally boost testosterone, check out our highly reviewed stack. The ingredients have been shown in studies to increase testosterone by 37% in just 4 weeks, used by fighters and athletes all around the world. Link is in the bio. See you next time.